Good morning. It feels really spring-like today. I saw sheep outside. They've moved like sheep into one of the cauliflower fields where the cauliflower's obviously been harvested and past its best, and the sheep are all nibbling on all the cauliflower. It's very cute. My seedlings are doing so well. I don't know if you saw them. I haven't planted any more because I've been so busy with working on Newlin and other work projects and stuff. I'm not putting loads of pressure on the gardening side of things, but it's nice to have some seedlings going, and maybe next month we'll have some more time and I can work actually outside. I might do a little bit today actually, if it's not too cold. I'm wanting to make some rock cakes. I'm testing for a recipe, so that'll be nice because I haven't had those in ages, and as soon as I was thinking about making those, I was just, I need them now. I'm officially 22 weeks now, I think. 22, is that right? So I'm halfway through my pregnancy. I actually have a bump now, like I feel like I look pregnant, and these Naked Generation dresses are like so useful. I used to wear them all the time, and I knew that when I was pregnant they'd be perfect because they're so loose and floaty and comfortable. I'm definitely finding now that clothes are becoming a little bit uncomfortable. I got a really great pair of sweatpants on Vinted the other day, and I just ordered myself another pair that are exactly the same in a different colour. Today I just want to do some sorting. I really want to, like I said, get in the garden hopefully later, test these rock cakes, and I also really want to sort out the fridge. I know I'm not like in the hormonal nesting stage yet. That's, I think, comes and kicks in the third trimester. But I think my natural instinct right now is that I feel a bit overwhelmed by stuff in the house that needs to be done, especially because we're working on the cottage a lot. That takes up a lot of time. I don't want to neglect the house, and then when baby comes, feel kind of like everything's very disorganized. So I figured I can do things as I go. A few of the things that really desperately need doing is the pantry really needs sorting. I'm finding every week I'm just putting stuff on top, and there's lots of things in there that need to be emptied. I think I did this recently and I reorganized things, but there's just no space for like things like cereal. I have a lot more snacks now I'm pregnant, and there's less space for that. So I just want to just have a little rejig. I don't think I need to do a whole big thing of it, but there are cupboards to the right that aren't being used very well, and the fridge is also just a bit dirty and just full of lots of things I just feel like are sitting at the back of the fridge that need to be organised, especially with always testing recipes and always working with food. That happens so easily and so quickly, even though you organise it. I've been getting some questions about the supplements I've been taking while pregnant, obviously sharing the things I'm eating, the fact that I'm having a vegan pregnancy. Lots of you are curious about the supplements and the prenatal I've been taking throughout, and I have been taking Wild Nutrition since the beginning of my pregnancy and before. This is a paid partnership with Wild Nutrition, and I absolutely love them as a brand. They are everything that I want from a supplement, and I don't think you could find a better supplement. Truly, this is the bee's knees when it comes to pregnancy, fertility supplements for women, and they really take so much consideration and care into women's health. So I have been taking their pregnancy and new mother multi. This is obviously great for pregnancy and if you're a new mother, breastfeeding, that kind of thing. The reason I love Wild Nutrition to begin with is that it's food grown. So you're going to absorb them better than your typical synthetic supplements. I take 3 of these every day. I think I've only forgotten a handful of times and I absolutely love them. Originally, my sister actually recommended me Wild Nutrition before I'd ever heard of them. Before I'd worked with them, before I'd ever seen them on social media, she was taking this for her pregnancy, and also before she got pregnant when she was trying for a baby, she took their fertility supplement. So last time I think I updated you on Wild Nutrition, I was taking their fertility support, which I was sharing I think last summer because I was opening up about the fact that me and Alex really wanted to have a family, and it's really, really great to take a fertility supplement if you are planning on conceiving or trying to conceive, just to support your health. Even if it's not in the near future, even if you're thinking, you know, in the next year, maybe we'll start to think about having children, taking a fertility supplement is just gonna really support your overall health in general. And it's a really great option that I've just felt so much better taking it actually. And Alex also took one as well. There's one for men. He took it alongside me, and it just made sure that we had everything that we needed when it came to having a baby and trying to conceive. So the reason Wild Nutrition came about in the first place was because the founder, Henrietta Norton, she felt so disillusioned by the supplement industry when it came to the calibre of supplements for women. So she decided, I'm just gonna make my own and make it food grown. So there's lots of conversation right now about ultra processed foods, but what we don't talk about as much is ultra processed supplements. These ingredients are kept as close to the original form as possible so your body can absorb them like it would food, essentially. So when you go to their website, you can take a 60-second quiz and then be offered a 15-minute free consultation with one of their nutritional therapists. I personally really loved this because sometimes it feels like you're stabbing in the dark knowing what supplements to take. I'm vegan, I'm pregnant, I was trying for a baby at the time, and there's loads of different things to take into consideration your own personal health. So having that kind of security of speaking to somebody so they can personally advise what would be maybe recommended for you at what life stage you're at, and support you as a woman in your supplementation, I think is fabulous. They're also B Corp, so they are sustainable, ethical, and they have 100% recyclable packaging. So you get your little jar of supplements and then you get refill pouches which you can recycle, which obviously reduces on waste. That's why I chose Wild Nutrition in the lead up trying to conceive and then also throughout my pregnancy, because it's science backed, kinder on your digestion, better absorbed by your body, and there are no binders and fillers. But the main thing is that they are whole food ingredients, which matters so much to me. And one of the main reasons actually my sister specifically chose this one and recommended it to me was because of the folate rather than folic acid. That is what you need during your pregnancy, and this has the NHS approved amount of folate and also vitamin D for pregnancy. This is naturally methylated folate rather than synthetic folic acid. And this has 29 food grown botanicals, vitamins and minerals. They also have a pregnancy and new mother omega-3, which I actually haven't tried, but that's a really great option. Their magnesium is also fantastic for tiredness, fatigue, your muscle function and also psychological function. This is really great if your aches and pains are bothering you during pregnancy. Or if you struggle with sleep. They also, outside of their multivitamins, they have individual supplements like a vitamin B12 plus, which is great obviously if you're vegan, or there are lots of other options on their website that you can check out. I do have a discount code with them, so if you want to swap to Wild Nutrition, if you're pregnant, trying to conceive, or if you just want to swap your supplements as a woman to get something that's going to be more effective and absorbed better by your body, that's science backed, I'll leave a link down below. If you use the code WILDMADELINE, you'll get 50% off the first 3 months of your subscription, which is fabulous. I like the fact that it's a subscription because it just arrives and I've always got a top up to fill into here. Thank you so much to Wild Nutrition. I'm gonna get on with the day. I think I might make my rock cakes now and then get out in the garden or something. We'll see.
I just wanna go out and walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you. You don't have to tell me anything that's new. I just wanna go out and walk with you. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine, sailing over pavement with our 2 outlines. I like to see the shape you're in from time to time. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine. see the same things you can see. Understand the meaning on a new degree. Maybe that could happen when you're next to me. I just wanna see the same things you can see.
Alex is making bread. He just said, look at this! It's like a huge bread bun. It looks so perfect. If anyone wants the recipe, I'll leave a link to the YouTube video where we shared it, and we also have a whole bread ebook.
I want one slightly bigger than the other.
Okay.
So maybe that.
Yeah. Very satisfying indeed. Got another 10 minutes or so of the rock cakes. We shall see. They may not turn out perfectly, and then we can adjust the recipe a little bit because this is sort of testing stage. I'm sure they'll taste great. My only question mark is whether they will look effectively like a rock cake, because rock cakes are all like kind of lumpy and bumpy with lots of raisins showing. And I'm a bit worried they're all a bit too perfect and round. But maybe they all spread out. What?
Oh no, they look too perfect.
No, they're not meant to look like that though. I'm worried they're going to look like cookies, and they shouldn't look like cookies. They should crack and break. But maybe that's just the extra baking time, because I've honestly not made these since I was a child. We have got our rock cakes. They aren't quite right, but it's always, this is the way it works. You have to test things. They're too crumbly, and they also haven't gone the right shape. So rock cakes, I think I was saying this to Alex when they were in the oven, they need to like splurge out a bit and then rise, and then you can usually cut them in half and put butter on them, kind of like a scone. But these they look more like cookies. They retain their kind of circular shape, and then they just fall apart and crumble, which, I mean, it's fine, it tastes nice. I mean, they're a little dry, but they're not quite right. And this is the thing with vegan baking, is when you're trying out traditional recipes, they usually have, you know, a specific ratio of eggs, flour, butter, sugar, to make the specific kind of cake or biscuit or cookie or whatever. So when you're doing the vegan alternative, you can't necessarily follow that. You have to adjust it and change things. So we'll try it again and give it another go. Give it a taste.
What have you done? Oh dear. What a shame.
Way too dry.
Oh.
And it just falls apart.
Ooh. Kind of like shortbread.
Yeah.
Well, that's yummy.
I mean, we'll still eat all of them, but they aren't a rock cake. So
I see what you mean.
we shall try again.
Tastes nice.
These aren't going to be up on my website till May, so we've got time. I'm just making myself a lunch for me and Alex. We've got seitan in here. This is the tofu seitan that you can buy in the shops now, which is so useful. And I just tear it up, and then I'm just frying this literally with olive oil, salt, pepper and lemon. And I like to cook it on kind of a high heat so it gets that chicken char grill. I've got some stale bread that I'm gonna fry in a second once this is done, in some olive oil and salt, and maybe a bit of like mixed herbs, just to make some croutons. And then I had like leftover salad bits in the fridge, so I've chopped up some extra lettuce, had lots of leftovers basically, had chickpeas, and then I've put some capers and olives in there, and then some seeds. And then we have some leftover cheese sauce from mac and cheese that we had last night. So this can be like, kind of like a Caesar salad, but kind of not, just using leftovers. And it should be really delicious. Look at these croutons. So delicious. Salads can be the most delicious thing. And this is actually a reminder, this is such a good way to use up the end of the bread, because I always end up thinking, what am I going to do with this? And I put it in the freezer and don't use it. So this is fantastic. Hey, come on. had these grand plans to get loads of stuff done in the garden, but I've just realised I've left all of the gardening tools at Newlyn. So the fork and all the clippers and stuff, and shears, which means I can't clear the beds. I was going to clear a bed because I've been trying to do this for weeks, and to be honest, alongside being pregnant, working on work projects and renovating a cottage, trying to clear all these beds, the 16 of them, is a never-ending task that I'm never going to get done. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and obviously it's such hard work to do because I didn't cover them properly in winter, and I need to really, like, next year figure out a solution. I think the thing is, they need to be active working beds for them to then survive through the winter, that I'm like continuously working on them and I'm not just letting them go to ruin. Because last year I didn't do anything with them because we were having the patio done. Was that last summer? Yeah, and so we basically were focusing, that was just too much upheaval for that to be a thing. I also don't have a greenhouse to like grow lots of the seedlings and stuff to then sort of plant here, so it feels like the motivation isn't there as much because I've only got so much room in the house to grow them. Yeah, and being pregnant, I just physically can't do it as quickly as I could before. I still can do it, but it's just slow. And it's just finding the time, because every weekend I'm like, I want to go to Newlyn and get stuff done there. Sorry, there's like 2 crows who are just causing a racket. And yeah, I thought, I could clear some brambles, but I've not got the shears. I thought I could move, there's a hydrangea plant that's kind of covered by a camellia. I thought I could move him. I haven't got the fork to dig him up. So I think that the weeding I've done in those beds is all I can do today, which is a little bit frustrating because I have a whole afternoon and I won't have that for the rest of this week. And now I can't use it to do the garden and it's nice weather. Oh, silly Maddie, I should have thought about this. I looked at them when I left the other day, I was like, will I need those? And I was like, no. Good morning. I have just got a Waitrose delivery and I thought I'd show you what we got. A lot of this is in plastic, which is annoying, but we are doing lots of recipe testing this week. So I had to ditch the Ffern delivery, which comes with a lot less plastic because I needed specific items. So that's just the way it is sometimes. I'm never going to be the person who's going to be like, I'm perfect. We do our absolute best, and generally speaking, we get our Ffern box, which is where we get most of our veg from, which hasn't got plastic. And then if you do have to do this, we have to get stuff from the supermarket that's got plastic, because I choose to shop organic because it's better for the environment. I kind of weigh those two things up, and I kind of see it as like the lesser of two evils, because organic farming, I think, is something that's really important to support. And it's annoying that most of the organic stuff in supermarkets comes in plastic, but that's just how it is. And what I do is I recycle any plastic that I can. So the ones that are in bags, these ones, you can take these to the supermarket if you didn't know. We just have a bag in our utility room. Our utility room is a mess because we're so serious about recycling. We put so much time into recycling everything properly, and plastic is one of them. So we always keep these plastic bags, take them to the supermarket. Tesco do it, I know that I think Sainsbury's does, but you just check locally. They have these big bins when you walk in and you just put them there. You just keep it all in a big bag and just deliver them there, and then it gets recycled. Obviously it's better to not have it in the first place, but yeah, just flagging that because I'm aware there's a lot of plastic, but it's just sometimes unavoidable when you have a busy work week and my job is, you know, I've got to get all the right stuff. So let me show you what we've got this week. So let's start off with the veg. I'm working with Old El Paso actually this week, so I've got a fun video to film with them, not for YouTube but for TikTok. So obviously I love fajitas so much. So we've got their smoky barbecue kits. I've got 2 of them just in case I need to film it twice. And this reminds me of my childhood because we used to always have fajitas growing up and had the whole full spread on the table, and we're gonna have this evening for dinner because I'm filming this today and I'll show you actually what I make. And I just absolutely love fajitas. So we got the tortilla chips as well because I just thought, why not? Kind of was craving them. If I'm gonna make guacamole and salsa, I want some tortillas to snack on. I always do that when I'm like making the fajitas. Peppers is what I always put in my veggie fajitas. And then I also always put in, oh no, I think they've substituted the black beans. Oh no, they haven't, okay. Black beans, I thought they'd substituted the black beans for chickpeas, but we've got black beans. I love having peppers, black beans, and then sometimes tofu as well, but I tend to just like having it with beans. I feel like it fits in the wrap better. So that's for our fajita night. We've got some broccoli. Got a purple sprouting broccoli because I'm recipe testing a recipe with this. We have got mushrooms, 2 different kinds of mushrooms. Woodland mushrooms and British chestnut mushrooms. Got loads of avocado, which is, yeah, it's a real shame that they're all in plastic. For the guacamole and for just breakfast, we love to have it with toast every day, me and Alex. That's something I used to not do as much, but since being pregnant, I've had such a craving for it, and I'm trying to listen to my cravings because I feel like it's obviously telling me something, like the good fats from avocado. And I think there was a list that I read somewhere that was saying like all the different things that are great in pregnancy, and avocado and oranges were on there as being really great for the development of your baby. And I have been having those so much. So that's interesting. My body was like, yes, you need some avocado and some oranges. We have also got some lettuce, cucumber. Cucumber has been something I've loved whilst I've been pregnant. This is a bit of a small one though. Spring onions. We've got quite a lot of mint packets because they had to substitute a large one for 4 small ones. Bit annoying, but yeah. Parsley, courgette, I forgot what this is for. Maybe for a dip I'm making this week. Lemons and limes, they had to substitute the organic ones, but these are unwaxed at least. And then jazz apples. These are the best apples on the planet. I put them in the fridge and they literally, if you are feeling sick in your first trimester, get some jazz apples, put them in the fridge, and then get your partner or pre-slice them up and have them ice cold. They really ease nausea, and now they're just so lovely to me because I had them so much in the first trimester. We've got some baking potatoes so we can have baked beans on jacket potato. Alex got himself some Weetabix. I think he's moved over to having cereal for breakfast. I got myself some Deliciously Ella granola. Love this with some coconut yogurt and frozen berries. Though Waitrose stopped doing their organic frozen berries, so I didn't get berries this week, so now I'm not sure what to have with this. Maybe I'll go get some from the shop. Oatly, this is the milk I always have. Hula hoops, salt and vinegar. These are Superior crisps. Panko breadcrumbs, because we've run out. Some cherry vine tomatoes. I've got lots of different kinds of tomatoes, so I can make like a really lovely salsa. Nush, this is such a good cream cheese. This is lovely on bread or just on crackers. I absolutely love this. Alex got this so that he can make himself some wraps for lunch because he's going to Newlyn most days, like he's there now, to renovate. He was going to the shops to buy his lunches and I was like, you need to make them because that's too expensive and it's a waste of packaging and all that kind of stuff. So he got himself some La Vie plant-based ham, smoked, some Cathedral City mature cheddar flavour, large slices for sandwiches, so you can make sandwiches. These are the wraps I get. I love these flatbreads. These are the Piadana flatbreads. They're so delicious, so tasty. They're like bigger and thicker, so they're a bit more filling. Also hummus, this is great for sandwiches. I just live off hummus as a snack. This is such a great snack if I'm feeling a bit like, oh my god, I'm so hungry but I don't know what to eat, like mid-afternoon or something. This with some cucumber or red pepper is the best thing ever. Some Nutella vegan block, my favourite vegan butter, the block and the spread. Cumin, because we'd run out. Some bananas for smoothies. I've been having smoothies again. This morning I had a smoothie with banana, mango, flaxseed, like a flaxseed omega mix, like chia, goji berry, that kind of stuff. I hadn't got any coconut yogurt, so I usually put coconut yogurt in it. But it tasted so good. I think it's because it's becoming like more spring-like outside. I'm craving like summery foods. And then we've got some tofu. I'm gonna make some sweet and sticky tofu tomorrow. My big tub of Coconut Collaborative coconut yogurt. This is delicious with granola and in a smoothie, and it really does last quite a long time. I feel like on the back it says to eat within 3 days. I do not do that. It does not smell or go off or get moldy within a week at all. So I've had no problems with that. And then some Mutti chopped tomatoes. These are the best chopped tomatoes ever. I accidentally got 2 of these. My on bar, my favourite chocolate. Got some fruit and nuts. Again, this is something I've like been craving when I'm hungry. I just want nuts. So I actually had a bowl of these already. These have got dried fruit in as well. And then chickpeas and water. And then the Delicious Ciela salted chocolate dipped almonds. These are so goddamn addictive. I'm a bit obsessed with Delicious Ciela because I've also got the sweet potato crunchy cracker thins, because everything she makes is so delicious, but it's also, the ingredients are really fantastic. So I just trust the brand, and I always have done. This is quite a healthy shop. Don't get me wrong, last week, I've been having pizza, burgers, chips, like, because we went away, and yeah, my diet has been not the best, but I also don't like labeling my diet. This is probably something I'm like trying to work on. I don't want to do this in front of my daughter or anything. Like, you go through these ebbs and flows where some weeks you're like really craving this kind of thing. You want to eat nourishing, wholesome food because it makes you feel fantastic. It's what you're craving, it's what you need. But then also other times you don't want that. You just want some chips, you want some burgers, you want some chocolate and pizza, and that's fine. And I feel like pregnancy is like really honing that in on me even more, that it's important to remember both things are valid, like being balanced and wholesome with your diet and sensible and educated and having that knowledge what's good for you, but also listening to your body and just, yeah, not stressing out or having labels around food or kind of categorizing it that way. And that's probably something that I still need to work on, because I still love the black and white thinking. But yeah, I'm gonna make myself some lunch now. I'm not sure what to make, but I'll show you what I do make in the end. Oh, actually no, the stuff in the freezer. So I got some frozen mango so I can make my yummy smoothies. And then this is what Alex got, which I suggested. This isn't chicken tenders. This is such good vegan meat alternatives. They're fantastic. They taste so real, and these are so yummy. If you air fry these and then coat them in buffalo sauce, my goodness. Okay, so here's my dud of an avocado. I opened up and tried to salvage as much as I could, but you know, sometimes you get these ones that are just like this and they're not happy. This was one from somewhere else actually that I think Alex got the other day from the local shop, like corner shop, and obviously that's not a very good avocado. In here we've got a very messy wrap here. So we have got hummus and rose harissa paste. I absolutely love rose harissa. We have got my homemade sausages. Now I can't tell you this recipe yet, this is a secret, but this is like a seitan sausage, and you will have the recipe at some point in the future, but it is so delicious. And obviously because it's homemade, it's just lovely because you could make your own vegan alternative. So there was one of those left over from the other day. So I've got that, avocado, the Violife Greek white block, crumbled in, some pickled pink onions, some tomatoes, cucumber, lettuce, and I think that's everything, with a squeeze of lime. And this is going to be the most delicious wrap ever. It looks so fresh. Postman's just arrived and I have got 2 deliveries. This one I'm very excited for. This is from Ffern. I think it must be their spring perfume. We are delighted to present our violet fragrance Spring 25 alongside a very special launch. The all-natural Ffern seasonal candle, Equinox Blessings. That's very cool. That's definitely a great progression from their perfume to candles. If you haven't heard of Ffern, I have shared them before. They always kindly send me their perfumes and I've just become a huge fan. It's the only perfume I wear now. They basically bring out a scent every season and they have the most beautiful story with every scent. They're the only perfume brand I've ever seen who does this. They sort of share all of the ingredients, where they're sourced from, who made the perfume. So it looks like this one is, and they're like barrel aged as well. This was bottled in January. It was aged in Somerset. This has things like peppermint, eucalyptus, bergamot, lemon, violet leaf, rose, daffodil, lavender, ylang ylang, red cedar, jasmine, and next to each ingredient it also says where. So it's places like India, China, Italy, Egypt, Morocco, Madagascar, France, Haiti, USA, China. It's just amazing. And they also always come with a little cinematic experience. I'm assuming this is kind of like the advert for the perfume. I've actually never watched it before, I probably should. And they often also have these lovely little pictures the artists create for them. So let's see what we have for spring. Very, very beautiful. So they always have these posters they give, and then on the other side it basically describes the perfume in great detail. Often has like a, almost like a poem. It has the artist's information, the ingredients, sustainability, all that kind of stuff, which is incredible. So we have the sample so that you can test the smell first before you commit to the perfume, but I always love the scents. And the cool thing is that this is compostable. I think they make this, so it's all just like in a tiny little cardboard box, and then the actual perfume's in cardboard. I've never ever seen a perfume that's like this. Pretty incredible. So this is spring 25, and I remember last year spring 24 was like one of my favourites of theirs they'd ever done. Or maybe it was the first one I received. But it was my favourite. When I would try the other ones, I'd be like, oh, I've just loved the spring one. It was my favourite. So this is hopefully going to be a new fave. I actually have winter on today. Let's let it do its thing. Oh my goodness, that smells so good. First I can smell is like violets for sure. Then a bit of lemon. And then a bit of like floral. It's like floral and sweet, but then very subtle. The thing about these perfumes I've said before is that their scents are, they're so multi-layered, more than other perfumes I've tried. Usually when you spray a perfume, it's like, okay, that smells like rose, that smells like floral, that smells oudi, that smells etc. These perfumes are very different in that the scent kind of develops over time, and you get so, because now I'm smelling like the bergamot and the ylang ylang. Oh, and the lavender. Yeah, it really like comes through as it sits on your skin, and like as the day goes on, it's really incredible. Their perfumes are just very sophisticated and very cool. This, oh, look at this packaging. This is the kind of thing that just makes me scream. Like if I had my own brand, this is just like, look at this. You're just doing it so right, Ffern. So this is this, I'm assuming this is the like the same scent, but in a perfume, in a candle. Can we just watch this? Look at the top. I'm assuming this is like a spring equinox. Astrological. Oh yeah, because there's a little bunny rabbit there. Oh my goodness, look at the bottom of this. This is the most satisfying candle packaging I have. Oh my goodness, that smells so good. See, this candle, I can smell the lemon more. But then it also smells like wood chip, like grass and wood. And then also lavender, just like outside, outdoors, like you're kind of walking through a grassy floral field. Oh my goodness. Wow, can't wait to burn that. Look at that. And when the candle's burnt, you can keep this little tin if you clean it out. What's in this other box? Oh, that was just padding. So thank you to Ffern. I'll leave a link to them. Love that. And the other package I thought was for me, but it's actually a birthday present. So let's ignore that and let's get on with my day. Whatever it was that I was doing. I was about to film a video for Old El Paso. That's what I'm going to do. Just some sponsored content. SponCon. Here's the chaos of the behind the scenes if you're curious on how this sort of thing works. I've got my phone on a tripod filming me frying. I've made such a mess because I just tore open the fajita kit to get the stuff out. I was like filming, rushing, and this was actually tidy a minute ago. We've got my salsa or pico de gallo, my guacamole, and these both taste 10 out of 10. I've taste tested them with these tortilla chips. And I'd really recommend getting these tortilla chips rather than the cheap ones because they taste 10 times better. So I always get these ones. Oh, we're gonna do such a good spread for when Alex gets home.
What are you doing? What are you doing up here?
nails done. It always cheers me up. Oh, because I'm just having a bad day. But I've got cute little spring nails. So I've been having nude nails recently. I used to have biab for the longest time, and then I decided to cut my nails a bit shorter. And I think that's because I took a break from nails. I did. I took a break from having my nails done. And then when I came back, I was like, what's like the most natural way to do your nails? And she's like, well, just gel polish. She's like, but it doesn't last as long. Because obviously biab lasts like 3 to 4 weeks because it's harder, but it makes your nails look thicker. And I was noticing, especially like if I didn't do food photography, I wouldn't care because I love the way they look like in person, because they look like elegant, and it'd mean my nails would grow really long and they look lovely. But in food photography, sometimes my nails were taking up too much attention because they looked visible like I had fake nails when they actually were my nails. So I've gone back to just having nail polish, and this is a nice bit of nail art for spring, little daisies on the bottom. I've been having a bad day though. Like, I have this every day. I don't know if other pregnant women have this, but I wake up in the morning, I feel really good. I went on a walk with Roxy, it's spring, I was enjoying my morning, and then when I was on the walk, my brain was so full and so noisy and so loud, and I've started to go on walks in the morning without any headphones. So I read somewhere about this, and I just thought that's such a great way of being mindful without really having to interfere with my life too much. Like, I've tried on and off over the years doing meditation, but I end up always sort of falling off of it. And I thought that's kind of like a nice mindful thing to do as a habit to attach to a habit I already have. And I was always taking my headphones with me and listening to music or listening to a podcast on my walk, which means I'm not fully switching off, and means I'm still stimulated and like switched on. And I've been finding recently I'm so on my phone all the time. Any second that, and I've noticed this in the last year in particular, I think it's the way that social media and the algorithms of the internet are going now. They are so addictive, and I was finding myself in between any sort of rest time in between things. So when I'd finish my lunch, I'd pick up my phone and sit on my phone for a while, or like in the in between phase between the end of the work day and making my dinner, or like when I was getting ready in the morning. I just feel like I was filling that time too much with scrolling and consuming stuff that I don't need to be seeing. Like, you'll go on TikTok, you'll see a few funny videos or from creators you like, and then it will be interspersed with something about politics or something about world news, which would actually just stress me out. I decided I'm going to start to combat this, not only by trying to be on my phone less, but by not being stimulated when I'm on a walk. So truly just being in nature. And I've also seen something about where people do on social media, ironically, where people go on walks and they focus on one colour. So this morning I saw the daffodils and I was like, I'm going to focus on yellow, because my brain was being noisy. It was jumping. And I know that it's being noisy when it's not just thinking about one thing and trying to puzzle over that. Sometimes that can be helpful when you're on a walk, when there's a problem or something you're trying to kind of puzzle out. Your brain does it normally, like naturally on a walk. But my brain was jumping from subject to subject at a million miles an hour, like going, this problem, this problem, this problem, what about this? And it was so noisy. So I tried to focus on anything yellow that I saw, and it really helped. By the end of the walk, I was so much more calm. My brain was not noisy, and I really was just paying attention to the sights and sounds around me. So I'd really recommend it if you do a daily walk, or you get out in nature, to give that kind of mindful practice a go with no headphones. And if I had put some headphones on with a podcast, I would have just been pushing that, I guess, that anxiety away and pushing it down, rather than giving my brain time to switch off and be truly mindful and calmed. So yeah, but anyway, that's a little sidetrack. I often have it, where I have a good morning, and I had a good morning, I got on with my work and I was feeling good, and then I have my lunch, and then in the afternoon I just feel so tired, and then my mood drops. And it's not something that I experienced outside of pregnancy, so it's a bit of a mood drop in the afternoon. Maybe that's normal. I think my instinct anyway is that humans, I know that I've read before about humans used to sleep in different ways. We used to sleep through the night, but we'd wake up at some point in the night, like at midnight, and often people would like clean their homes or things, or do chores in the middle of the night and then go back to sleep. But people would also have naps in the afternoon. And I wonder if the reason I have that mood drop is because it's actually quite natural within our circadian rhythm to feel tired at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And when you're pregnant, that's exacerbated. So I think probably naturally my body is saying, go and have a nap, go and have a sleep, but I have to do some work, so I can't. And then I end up with like a hormonal mood swing. And I suppose I've just got that feeling of, and this is me just like being totally honest and giving a little ramble at the end of this vlog, because why not? It's on my mind. I suppose I'm just feeling at the minute quite like, I guess, overwhelmed with being pregnant and running a business and all the things that I've got going on all at the same time. It's so typical of me that I've got a house renovation happening. I've got a project behind the scenes that is going on that's really big and it's taking up a lot of my work time. And then also being pregnant. And then also things like my garden and the vegetable garden is on my mind, because that's something I really want to do and it matters a lot to me, but I'm not finding the time. And I suppose it's having these big projects and these big things going on with me whilst I'm pregnant. I just kind of am kicking myself a little bit like, why is this happening all at the same time? But then they're all good things. They're all lovely things. So I have to remind myself of that. It's just, I suppose, that urge and that feeling that I just want to be pregnant and just be switching off and relaxing and not be doing those things. Like, I truly believe in an ideal world where women around the world, we would have maternity leave from the day we find out we're pregnant, and everyone would get maternity leave, whether you were self-employed or not. You would have full pay. There would be a universal pay that everyone would get when they find out they're pregnant, all the way up until a year after having a baby, because pregnant people make the world go round, because that's what makes humans, and we all deserve more time off, and that would be funded by our governments and by our taxes. But that's not the world we live in, and sometimes I wish it was, because I think lots of pregnant women will feel this, and new mothers. It's the pressure of feeling like you have to keep going when you are going through this big hormonal change, this big change in your body and your life, and you just want to rest and you want to just enjoy being pregnant, but you have life happening. And because I have a business that I run and I'm self-employed, I have employees and I have deadlines and I have projects and I have commitments. I can't just go, yes, I'm going to take this time off. And by the way, I am not complaining. I'm very privileged, just because I know I'm already hearing that people typing this. This is not me complaining. I'm just sharing. I don't like caveating things, because I think we're at the point on the internet where we shouldn't have to caveat things, because I think most people have common sense to know that I'm not sitting here saying that I'm worse off than anyone. I'm better off than a lot of people, but I'm just sharing what's going on in my life, which is valid, which I've learnt from therapy. So if anyone says it isn't, you're wrong. I can't take the maternity leave like some people may be able to, which obviously I have the privilege of running my own company and having the life I have and the job I have, and it's excellent. But I will take maternity leave, but I have to be sensible and organised and plan for the fact that I won't be working in the capacity I usually am for the time I have my baby. And some people get to take, 6 months maternity leave, a year's maternity leave. In the UK anyway, I know, like in America, you don't get any maternity leave sometimes. It's not like a government thing, it's a company basis thing. But in the UK, you do get maternity leave from the government, and then if your company provides maternity leave, you get that as well. I'm going to try and take 2 months off. It's kind of one of those things, it's like if an opportunity arises, then for me it's like, well, it's worth doing that opportunity because I need to support myself and my baby. But then that means you're working and you're not taking the time off. And because I have employees and I have the business to keep running, it has to keep running whilst I'm off. And in order for it to keep running, it has to have money coming in and money in the business and all that kind of stuff. Just lots of things to consider. That's just one of those logistical things that we all have to think about, I suppose, when you're planning for your maternity leave and pregnancy and stuff, which maybe lots of you are thinking about too, depending on whatever situation you're in, whether it's that you're self-employed or you are in a business working for a company. Maybe you're also thinking about the different ways in which maternity leave is going to work for you and feasibly how that's going to happen. But yeah, that's what's on my mind, and it's putting some pressure, and it's a ticking clock where I feel like I'm waiting for maternity leave, but also lots of like deadlines that we want Newlyn to be open for the summer, and then other projects are coming to an end in the summer, and it's like it's all coming at the same time when I have my baby, and it's like a clock ticking to when that happens. And then whether I'm actually going to have that time off. I really want to, but I have a baby to think about, so it's just whether I can or whether I should, or yeah, all of these things are on my mind. And I'm being very candid about this because I think that's helpful for people. And I know some people get triggered by this stuff. I think I'm noticing a lot at the minute that people are very triggered in my comments and in my messages, and I haven't noticed that in a while. And I think it's because of what's going on in the world. There's so much uncertainty, there's so much difficulty happening. And I ultimately understand it's because people are projecting what's going on with them or what they're experiencing onto me. And that's not my responsibility. But yeah, I'm being candid because I know it can help some people. Like, my situation won't be yours, but me being honest about it maybe is helpful. So that's why I want to share, as always. I wish I was pregnant and not doing these other things. But then, do you know what? That's easy for me to say. But knowing me, I think no matter what situation I was in when I was pregnant, I probably would create some kind of like ticking clock or some kind of situation, because that's how I'm wired. Where I'd be like, oh gosh, there's got to get this done, I've got to get that done, or that's got to be happening. I can make it happen. The thing is, it's your mindset. So I've really got to just dig deep and understand that my mindset is a powerful thing, and I can enjoy this process. And these are all lovely, positive things. Having a baby, working on this project at New Lynn, and working on the work projects I'm doing, and summer coming, they're all really lovely, positive, good things. And that's how I have to see it. And I need to frame it that way. And I have so much time that I can rest and just do the things that I want to. And I do have the choice whether I can work or not. And if I'm sensible, we just have to be organised, that's all. So I need to stay in the positive mindset, because if you put positivity outside into the world, then it will come back to you. So thanks for the little pep talk. I just chatted at you for that time. Your mind goes 1,000 miles an hour when you're pregnant, because you're preparing for something that you cannot prepare for, and that is so unnerving, and it's just not something that you just don't know what to expect. I've never been a mum before, and I don't know what my life is going to be like, and I'm so excited, but I'm also so nervous, and I want to prepare, but then I also have to just surrender to the fact that I can't fully prepare, because nothing will ever prepare you, and you just have to go with the flow, which is hard for a personality like me. I'm going to go home. That's actually made me feel a lot better. This is probably why I've loved vlogging for so long, because I've treated it like a diary, and I really appreciate speaking honestly. And sometimes when people are triggered and say nasty things about me and call me names or tell me I'm the most awful person, had someone tell me today that I'm at the bottom of the barrel of humanity. When people say that to me, it does make me feel like I don't want to share and be open and be myself. But then I have to remember that I don't have to shrink myself for other people. I don't have to shrink my success or who I am as a person because it triggers other people's insecurities. I think that there's so much internalized sexism when women are coming to my page and saying nasty things about me or calling me names or trying to tear me down. And this is not the same as someone giving me constructive criticism, by the way. If someone gives me constructive criticism, that's completely valid and I take feedback on board. I'm talking about when people are just nasty. That is their insecurity and their internalized sexism projecting onto me, because people have a really hard time with women being themselves and being successful or changing or growing or taking up space or having opinions. I have to remember that me doing that actually allows other women to do that, and that's what I should focus on, because if I'm myself and I take up space and I have success and I change and grow and show that process, other people will feel the confidence to do that as well. Whereas if I quieten myself, dim my light and shrink myself, then that is, to be honest, giving into patriarchal standards and going back a step, because as women, we have to do what we've got to do to be ourselves and to step out in the world in a way that maybe men don't. Take up that space because we deserve to, and we don't have to take on board, we don't have to listen to that criticism, because that criticism doesn't necessarily come for men like it does for women. And especially while I'm pregnant, I'm realising that a lot more, that like I have to stand by this, I have to take up space, I have to be myself, I have to truly like embrace the success or the achievements I have in my life and embody that and be proud of that, because I want to have that example for my daughter. And I'm not going to allow people online who have opinions or insecurities to project that onto me. I'm going to let them, like that, who's that woman in the minute who keeps on saying let them, Meg Robbins, I'm going to let them feel that way and say that, because that's their problem, it's not mine. And all I can do is be the best person I think, or be the person I want to be, and do the best I can do, and what makes sense for me and my family. And if anyone has a problem with that and is going to be nasty and horrible and rude to me, that's really nothing to do with me. It's none of my business. That's their business. And they have work to do. So that's why I'm sharing, and I will continue to share, and I won't let trolls or people who are mean or people who want to project their own insecurities onto me or harbour internalised sexism and not work on why they are being nasty to a woman on the internet and not being considerate. I'm not going to allow that to stop me from being myself and then allowing this community to have positivity, because I feel like lots of you appreciate that I'm honest about these things. Anyway, I'm really going to regret editing this because I have just talked at you and blabbed on and on and on. So I'm going to go home now and get some work done because I really have blabbed a lot and it's getting hot in this car. It's actually really humid today. I don't know why I'm in a jacket.